When I started middle school, I was extremely shy, I had very low confidence, and my self-esteem was very low as well. My best friend had just moved away, and when I got to this new school, I knew a few people here and there, but I didn't really have a lot of friends. I was nervous to begin with, but throughout the year, my self-esteem just kept getting lower and lower. I remember there was this one day about a month after school started, and the classroom that one of my classes was in had just been moved. The school that I went to was middle school and a high school combined. So I went from grade 7 all the way up to grade 12. And there's this wing where all the grade 7 and 8s have their classes. And then there's a section where most of the high school classes happen, and there's a gym like a regular school. But what happened was my class that was usually in the grade 7 wing had been moved to the high school wing. Now, on the first day that I was walking into this new classroom, I was extremely nervous. One, because I was around a whole bunch of high school kids, and two, I was just really awkward. So I'm awkwardly walking down the hallway trying to find this class. I don't know where it is. And I used to do this thing where I'd go to class super early, like 15, 20 minutes before class time actually started. One, because I had nothing else to do at lunch, and this class was right after lunch, and I just didn't want to be late for anything, so I went extremely early. And normally when I go and show up, the teacher would be in the class, and I'd just sit there, go on my computer and play on like cool math games or something. But today when I went to this new class, and keep in mind it's in the high school wing, I go and look and the door is locked and there's no one in there. So me being the awkward little kid I am, one, I have nothing else to do, and two, I don't have the confidence to actually leave and go anywhere else. So I just stand by the door and wait. Now, the whole time I'm standing there, I am overthinking the shit out of the whole situation. I'm sweating my balls off. I'm thinking everyone's looking at me, even though I'm just doing my thing, but I've never been here before. I'm a timid little kid who's got social anxiety, so I am nervous. And I notice over to the left of me that there's this group of high school girls who are kind of just looking at me, and they're kind of laughing at me, kind of like not really pointing, but I can tell they're looking in my direction. And then one of them pulls out their phone and they're all looking at it, and I see they're like searching something up, and I assume they're looking at a picture, and then they look from the phone, look back up to me, look back at the phone, look back up to me, and start laughing. So immediately I'm like, oh shit, here we go. I'm starting to overthink, and one of them starts walking over to me. She comes up to me and asks me the strange question that, do you have a twin brother? And I just look at her really confused. I'm like, no, why? And then she takes out her phone and turns around and shows me a picture. I'll put him on screen of this motherfucker right here, and says, cause it sure looks like it. And being completely honest, I did really look like him. I'll put a picture of me in that year right here. I think his name is Lewis from Meet the Robinsons. I don't really care, but you can tell, like, with stuff like that, how is your self-esteem not supposed to be low? And I know that's not even that bad. I'm just using it as an example for why I had such low confidence and self-esteem going through middle school and the start of high school as a kid. But in grade 9, I found self-improvement, and I started really working on it, and I've made a lot of good progress. My self-image has improved, my physique has definitely improved, and my mental health, my social skills. I've been working on all these different aspects of my life, and I think there's a lot that comes with having positive self-esteem. If you don't work on your self-esteem and you don't work on your mental image of yourself, then you can't really hope to make progress in your career or your whatever field you want to go into, and especially your future, because you're going to have limiting beliefs that are going to hold you back and literally dictate the rest of your life just from a few events that happened that lowered your self-esteem. So this video is a no bullshit guide on how to actually improve your self-esteem. I'm not saying these are the best things to do for everybody. I'm just sharing with you what helped me. The singular most effective thing to boosting your self-esteem comes with journaling. Now, I know journaling can be boring, and it seems like this, like have a diary, and you don't want to journal because you're afraid other people might find it, or it seems cringy. But trust me when I tell you that journaling is actually the best thing you can do. It allows you to get the thoughts that are in your mind and stuff you've been holding on to and compress down and try to put it in the back of your mind. It allows you to get it out. All of our thoughts aren't meant to be in our head. We're meant to express them into the outside world. That's where art comes from. That's where music and all these great pieces, it's because people are relating an experience that they have, and they're putting it out in the world and sharing it with other people, and that allows them to heal. Now, I'm not saying you should share your journal with the rest of the world, but I'm saying once you take something that's in here and you put it on to something physical and you get it out of your mind, then it allows you to let go of it. And that is the whole idea we are trying to do here. Journaling allows you to get thoughts connected in your mind, and you figure a lot of stuff out that you didn't realize before. For an example, one of the reasons when I was growing up that I never thought I was actually worthy of a decent relationship was probably that experience that I just told you. And I found that out through journaling. You have a group of high school girls that are making fun of you, and obviously that's gonna make you have some resistance in the future towards going and actually approaching girls. Your brain is gonna think that kind of situation might happen again, so you have to let go of it. The other thing you're gonna find is how much you actually write down. There's so much going on at the subconscious level in our brains, and creating an art, and in this case journaling, allows you to kind of have access to that subconscious zone of your mind. I'm not exactly sure how it works. I just know for a fact that once you start writing things down, you get into a flow state and it just kind of comes out of you and you don't really even think about it. It's like when you see an old friend walking down the street that you didn't expect to meet. You don't have all these bullshit thoughts in your head and you're not overthinking like, oh, they don't want to speak to me. You just automatically want to go say hi to them, and you enter what we call a flow state where you don't have to think about what you're doing. Now, your actionable step for this video, which you have to do if you actually want to improve your self-esteem. You can't just watch this video and then go on to the next self-improvement video, top 10 ways to make passive income online, or whatever it is. You have to watch this video and do the actionable steps that I'm going to tell you. If you're not actually going to do the actionable steps, then don't watch this video and don't waste your time watching self-improvement content, because it's not going to help you if you don't take action. Okay, so I want you to pick one limiting belief that you have. And this takes a little bit to think about, but think about probably the biggest insecurity that you have and maybe a very strange way that you act like that. So for me, it was I would not go and talk to girls because I didn't feel like I was good enough. One that you may have is I'm not good enough for people to want to be friends with me. Whatever the first one that popped into your mind is, just use that. Now I want you to set a timer for 5 minutes and start writing down what that limiting belief does to you, and start thinking why you might have that belief, what event, and you might not find it right away, but just write down why you have that limiting belief. Try and brainstorm ideas and just think about it. And once you start writing, it's gonna come. It might not come right away, but eventually you're gonna connect the dots in your mind. I just want you to think what experience or set of experiences, and there's a lot of them, so you have to do this on a regular basis, but start thinking, why do I act in this way? Why am I always nervous that people are talking shit behind my back? Why am I always so nervous that people are always thinking about me? And just start journaling about that topic. Once the timer runs out, and if you don't feel like you've completely articulated why you have this limiting belief, then just set the timer and just leave it. Come back to it another day. Now you're actually going to start thinking about why you might have this belief, and it might be not today, it might not be today, but eventually if you do this practice and you keep journaling like this 5 minutes every day, you're going to figure out why. The other part that I forgot to mention before is you have to be completely fucking honest with yourself. You can't just sugarcoat it and be like, oh, well, this, and be worried someone's going to find it. You have to be authentic with yourself. We are trying to raise our self-esteem and we can't lie to ourselves. You have to be honest. It might be hard at first to get started, but once you get going, it's going to get easier. And if you feel like you've written enough, then it's probably good to take a break, but just make sure you're taking this at your own pace. Once you feel like you're satisfied with how much you've journaled and you feel like you've actually gotten somewhere and figured some stuff out, then read it over. Maybe read it out loud if you're alone. Read it over and reflect on this experience that you've had. And the biggest thing with this is letting go of it. This experience is now on paper. It's not in your mind anymore. It can't hurt you anymore. It's happened. It's in the past. And the thing about this is we have to let it go. Once you've read it over, recognize that it happened. Know that this singular experience does not define you as a person. It's just something that happened to you. And it's something that you can learn from. Think about, what can I learn from this experience? And yes, it's caused me to have some problems. And yes, it's caused me to have some insecurity issues. But what can I take from this to move forward? Personally, I believe everything happened for a reason. And if you're watching a video like this, then you have an extremely strong character, and you should be grateful for the experiences you've had in life to put you down this path of wanting to improve your life. And yes, your life wasn't perfect, but you have to recognize that you're moving in a positive direction. Now that you have this experience and you've written it down, I want you to destroy it. You can rip it, crumple it, burn it. Just don't burn your house down. Do it. You know what I mean. Be safe. Just get rid of it, because it's no longer going to define you. You are moving forward with your life. Yes, you recognize you had this experience, but it's not who you are anymore. You are moving forward, and I want you to know that you don't have to let this define you anymore. You can let go of it. So destroy it, rip it, burn it, crumple it up, just get rid of it, throw it in the garbage, put it in the paper shredder, do whatever you need to do. Once you've gotten rid of this, it's already going to start making you feel a lot better, but you're also going to be mindful of when that limiting belief was placing its control on you. And you can simply just think, I'm not like that anymore. I got rid of it. When you see a group of people that you want to go approach and start being friends with, when you start to feel insecure and get that approach anxiety, simply think that this is not who I am anymore. I'm taking this belief, I got rid of it, and this does not define me. So fuck that belief, and I'm gonna go actually do something I wanna do. And yes, it's gonna be hard, but the more you do it, the easier it's gonna get, and you're gonna start to actually do things that you want, and you're gonna start to be a lot happier. Number 2 is monitoring negative self-talk. Now, whether we know it or not, we're always talking to ourselves in our head, and there's always constant dialogue going on in our thoughts. And for a lot of people, especially myself, when I had low self-esteem, and people who do have it, it's negative. We're bringing ourselves down. We're using language that is putting us down and making us feel inferior than we actually are. Now, you might be predicting that I'm going to tell you to write down, I am a positive and confident person. I am a positive and confident person, but that is not what I'm telling you to do. You can use affirmations if you want. I've had a little bit of experience with that in the past, and I find it kind of helps, but I think it's much better to just be mindful of your self-talk. Once you're mindful of the dialogue that's going on in your head, and the biggest thing that helps with this is meditation, to kind of catch yourself and bring yourself back to the present moment. But once you've actually started hearing the thoughts in your head and you're like, why do I say this about myself? Why do I think in this way? Then you can catch those negative thoughts. Once you're aware of it, you can catch it and change it. For example, if you've got a big test coming up, you might hear a couple people in your class saying, oh, I'm going to fail this test. Oh, I'm going to get such a bad grade. And if you're starting to think like that, oh, I'm going to fail this test. My parents are going to be so pissed. My average is going to drop. Just catch it. Oh, no. We don't talk like that anymore. We are working on ourselves. We have a lot of good stuff going for us. We're going to prepare for this test. We're going to study, and I'm going to work hard for it. I'm not going to fail. I'm going to be completely just fine because I'm smart and I know how to prepare. Boom. You're immediately going to feel better, and you're going to do better on your test. This is the great thing about boosting your self-esteem. Your life in general just gets better. You just become a happier person, and the things that you want to succeed at, like maybe it's a YouTube channel or maybe it's sports or music, whatever it is, you're just going to be better at it because people love to be around happy and energetic people. When you're always being so negative, you're not going to attract success, and you're not going to live a fulfilled life. Even though you have things you want to chase, you have to start with doing the work in here. Once you've kind of worked on yourself, and you always have to keep doing this, but you need to start here and start accomplishing things in life, but you need to catch your negative self-talk. A good example of this is, imagine you're a number of years in the future and you have a kid, right? Your kid just had a basketball game, and he's been working really hard to play basketball. He's been working on his moves a lot, and this is the finals of his school tournament, and he really wants to win. It means a lot to him, and his team gets through the game. It's a tight battle back and forth, but the other team ends up winning, and your son's team lost. After the game's done, you go over to him, say good game, good job, and he's talking down on himself. He's like, I suck at basketball. I don't want to play this anymore. It's all my fault that my team lost. All this stuff. What do you think your response to him is going to be? Are you going to be like, yeah, you fucking suck. You're a piece of shit. You're trash at this game. You should never play again. No, that's not how a father is going to talk to his son. He's going to be like, whoa. Stop talking like that. It's okay. It's just a game, right? In every single sporting game, there's going to be a winner and there's going to be a loser. A lot of games you're going to win, but you're going to lose a lot of games too. And it's okay. That's just the way it is. Just because you lost doesn't mean that you didn't play a good game. Remember that crossover you've been working on? I saw you use it in the game. You made a beautiful crossover and you drained the jumper, swish right in the net. And remember when little Johnny was coming up to you, he was trying to do a move on you and you stole the ball from him and threw it across the court and made a beautiful assist up to your friend over there, and he did a layup. Boom, beautiful plays, and you've been working real hard. And you weren't doing that last game, but since you put the time in, look how much progress you've made. And yes, you lost, but what can you learn from that? Yeah, you didn't win, but what can you learn from this? It's the same in life. It's like, if you've had a bad experience, yeah, it sucks in the moment and it's going to mess you up, but what can you learn from it? And there's going to be great experiences you have too. The way I've come to learn of bad experience as a blessing is helping other people get through their experiences and helping other people prevent them as well. If you've had something bad happen to you and you've had problems, you've had to learn how to solve them, but you can then teach that to people and help them get through those problems so much easier, so they don't have to go through all the hardship of solving it themselves. And that is the reason I believe we have bad experiences, is to teach other people so they can improve their lives. It's not easy to change your mental dialogue and figure out how to actually talk to yourself in a positive way, but just be mindful of it. And it's going to take years to actually start changing this. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. Next time you catch that negative self-talk, and it's always there, trust me, I still have it. Every successful person still has that negative self-talk, but they just learn how to deal with it, and they learn how to shut it down, come back to the present moment, and control what they can control. The third and final tip I'm going to give you to start improving your self-esteem is begin working out. Now, a lot of people in self-help space say you have to weight train and you have to get a good-looking physique so you can attract girls and have all this muscle and da-da-da-da. And yes, that's kind of nice, and it's nice to see some progress. But in reality, is that going to be the defining characteristic to your self-esteem? No. I'm telling you, you need to exercise so you can just genuinely feel better and you can start accomplishing some goals. Getting a beautiful physique does not change the way you feel about yourself, because there's always something else to get. It's like just getting more money or getting a better job or getting a nicer house. There's always more to get. But once you start exercising, you just feel better in general. You just feel good after a good workout. If you wake up at 6 a.m. and go for a run before school, you're going to feel pretty good about yourself because you're actually doing something that's beneficial for your health, and you're just going to start feeling better in general. Exercise will boost your mood. It will help you sleep better. It'll help you focus better, and it'll just make you feel better in general. And who just doesn't want to feel better? Now, yes, it's nice to kind of build some muscle and make some progress towards your goals, but it's not necessary. Just do some kind of exercise, whether that's playing sports, going to the gym, playing basketball, running, even just going for a walk. That is going to help you feel better, and in turn that's going to boost your self-esteem because you're seeing that you're taking care of yourself and you're just feeling better in general. I'll add a little bonus tip here, and it's that the best friendships that I've ever made have come from playing sports and going to the gym. There's something about doing something physical and something challenging with other people and working towards a common goal that is just so bonding, and it brings you together so close, and you become such great friends with the people that you work out with or are doing exercise with. So once you start actually exercising, you're going to meet other people who do that, and you're going to make friends with them, and it's just going to make your life awesome in general.